Welcome back, everyone, to The Drive, live on the HN Network every Tuesday. We're so thankful that you spend this hour together with us in mindful, conscious search of things that fuel our lives. We say here on The Drive, it's how you fuel your mind, your body, your spirit that creates the lifestyle you live. And we seek to bring on guests that will motivate you and inspire you with their stories, things that they've created, trials and tribulations that they've triumphed through. And we seek to bring you a new sort of inspiration and inner peace. We always start the show with a mindful minute, and today's mindful minute is about your morning routine. A lot of people ask me, how do you stay so motivated, Denise? What is it that you do every morning? Well, every morning I look at the things that I need to do that day, and I pick the one that drives me crazy the most. In other words, to stop procrastination, eat the biggest frog. The thing that you want to do the least, if you tackle that, and you get that out of the way, you'll find that your day will run smoother because then the rest of the stuff is easier. And the second thing I like to say is write it down. When you write things down, you get them out of that RAM, that bank of thoughts. Once you write them down, they're crystallized, and it just makes the day so much easier. So that's the Mindful Minute from The Drive. And again, we're so happy that you've tuned in with us today. There's a wonderful guest I want you to meet, Lib DeNure, the owner of Hazel Days. Welcome, Liv. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Liv is a community advocate and just won the 2016 Championship SBA Award for her boutique Hazel Days in the Black Rock community. What I loved about Liv is she's got an incredible journey up to Hazel Days and now such a socially conscious bricks and mortar store. That's a big mouthful.
Yeah, it is. And let me just say one thing. We're actually in Fairfield.
Fairfield, okay.
A lot of people make that mistake. So we're just almost to Black Rock, but we're still in.
You're still Fairfield.
Right.
You're in a pretty new strip of Fairfield, right?
Yeah.
And what I loved about when we were talking off air that you're doing is you're trying to bring recognition to that community by doing some social cause type work. Give us a little bit of your background before we go over to Hazel Days, though. What inspired you to, what was your journey up to your boutique?
Want me to go way back or just?
Well, we've got almost an hour. You can go back.
Okay, so I guess when I grew up, I was very interested in helping, but I wasn't really sure how because it's a huge world. So I started small, and that's what I guess we all need to do. And I volunteered in hospitals and had lemonade stands, and most of it was to give back to whatever was meaningful to me at the time as a child. I went through a million lives with riding horses and dancing, and through that, teaching came out. So I ended up teaching in New York City for 20 years and adored the kids, and I'm still really close to some of them, especially Facebook makes it so easy.
Right.
So I watch them have kids, and I get inspiration still to this day. Fast forward, and we can go back, but fast forward to getting married, having kids, and trying to find something that I could stay at home and do.
Right.
So my ex-husband and I started an online business that I ran out of our house.
Right.
And I would run every day to, used to be Office Depot, and ship the packages, and my kids helped pack, and it was unreal until we finally, kicked it up, and we had UPS come and pick up in our driveway, which was like you had to pay extra for that.
So how many years was
this?
this online business before?
Well, I think it started when we were still in Brooklyn, and we moved to Fairfield. We just dedicated our garage to it.
Okay.
So I guess before, it was like 10 years.
So you had an online business for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And that was probably before it was like the thing to do.
Well, yeah. It was when Amazon still sold books. So,
okay.
I mean, this is,
So we're going back.
We're going back, and it was actually very profitable back then because if you sold other things besides books, you could make money on Amazon. Total different thing now. Amazon sells every single thing. So that helped me transition into Hazel Days when that became a less profitable venture online, although I still do it because it supports Hazel Days, but very different products. I started falling in love when I would go to the New York gift fairs with the fair trade products, so things that are...
Were you always a socially conscious person?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So this was sort of ingrained in your fabric. As with me, recycling, repurposing, we talk a lot about that on The Drive, and again, that's what kind of magnetized me towards you, because you do such a unique thing nowadays. I mean, people are running away from retail stores. We just closed, for example, our retail gallery. Yeah, well, we're moving into a more consultative practice, but what I like about you is that you said, I need that face-to-face interaction. So now you're doing your business, UPS is picking up. Why do you decide to go to bricks and mortar? Like, what was the click?
Well, the click was, and this was not well thought out, but it's worked out so far. The click was, why not have two places to sell the product? So I have the online. I need to ship anyway. I might as well have one spot, which is a bricks and mortar. People can come in. I can be shipping from the back. I have a basement that's, I mean, it was quite a transition to get to that point, but I have a great landlord and a basement where I can keep everything. So I can ship from the back. I can still see this, out into the store because it's very small. Then if I need to go forward and meet with people and talk to people, but I can continue doing that as well. So that was my thought.
So tell me what it took to win the SBA award. We've used the SBA score folks for many, many years in our businesses, and they are fabulous. But that was a pretty interesting write-up online about you. Tell me, there's a lot of work that goes behind that. You just don't get that award.
Oh, man. Yeah, I apply for a lot of grants, and this is the first one that I've gotten. There's still a chance for me to get the whole grant, which is $25,000, but I'm one of the finalists. So. Which is great. And so I went to DC for a conference and met with the president of SCORE, and it was a mentoring day, and it was really, really educational.
Wow.
Like, for instance, I have a very hard time speaking, like, on camera. That freaks me out, but they really helped me with that. I mean, we had to stand up and we had to talk, and I'm like, you know what, I've just got to be me. I mean, that's the only thing I can do.
That's the only thing we can do.
I know, and don't try to memorize anything. So that was really a great conference. It was just an overnight, but at the same time as I was there, the Connecticut Post article on Hazel Days came out, so somebody wrote to me, you're in the Connecticut Post, and that's the other thing is I try to go and send out press releases and all the time, like once a month, and just say, if you have an opening, just please post about, just put in Hazel Days. So that, it's just, it's creating awareness.
Did you have a business background? Like, how did you know how to market your business?
I had nothing.
You had nothing. So, as my mother would say, this necessity was the mother of invention, right? So, what did you do to learn? Like, where was it all SCORE? Was it all WBDC?
No.
Like, how did you learn? The idea with the viewers is we want to get them, if they're stuck, they're thinking about it, we want to help them move forward. So, with your story, we can get them to say, wow, I can try this.
You definitely can try it. This is what I did. I did do a master's degree, but it's in dance education. So, and I didn't have one business class. And just for anybody out there, I say take business class because in economics, anything, I had no background.
You just winged it.
I winged it, but I did go to NCC and take an accounting class because it was the only thing that I could fit in the schedule of driving my son there as well. So same time, I was like, okay, there must be a business class. Wasn't, but there's accounting. I'm like, okay, that helps. And it was hard, but it helped me, with the financial piece of it. I mean, that. And
resourcing your product, how'd you do that?
Well, I'd already been doing that through the online store because we, besides just the Amazon things that we sold originally, we started getting into more fair trade handmade things. So you can go to the New York Gift Fair or lots of places and meet different companies. So I had a great group of fair trade companies from Bali to Guatemala. So I had that, and I've certainly branched out and opened into other things. But that was kind of easy. I don't know about helping other people start with something like that. I say go with your gut. That's what I did. I'm like, I can do this. I just can do this. And I reached out to lots of friends and lots of people, and SCORE Mentor has been amazing. It's really great because it's free. So you need to take advantage of every free opportunity.
So we've lost, as you pointed out in one of your articles, 3 fair trade shops in our area, and you are the one standing with a great following. What's the success?
I think, well, it's tough. I think people come into the store for the speaking to me, just having that connection. I have a lot of friends that I've made through them walking through those doors, And it's almost like I said this to you when we were speaking yesterday, it's almost like a therapy session for a lot of people to come in and feel the vibe that's in there. It's very peaceful.
It's very peaceful in your store.
But it's colorful and happy. But there's no pressure. It's very relaxed. And then if they want to talk, we talk. And sometimes we talk for a long time. And we share stories other than, not business related at all, family related, marriage related. And I think that that's so lost in our society, and it's really important to have a place to come.
So the sense of community you're building is amongst the shopping peers, and is that also happening when you're tying the stores together and bringing awareness to that little strip of Fairfield that people don't always remember? Is that helping populate that idea?
Yeah, it is. We're really working on, so from Fairfield Circle to Ash Creek is still Post Road. And there's a lot of really cool things that have popped up there.
Yes.
And it's becoming, a little bit more artsy. There's the Hotspot Glass Studio, great restaurants, the Antique Place, which has always been there, and it's really cool. I wish there was another little boutique, but getting that named as the Row, which is named after the Grassmere Row houses, which have a great history, which I didn't know about until I started doing this. I think that that's going to drive a different group of people that don't know about it. I mean, Fairfield's such a big, diverse place, and I know Black Rock and that my little part of Fairfield know about me, but it's amazing. Like, people in Greenfield Hill or, Southport, they don't know.
Or the metro area, or even Black Rock. I mean, I was on the board of the chamber, and we had 6 areas, and we were always trying to work to get the areas to interact with each other, and not be so
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I identify with that, and I think other communities, HAN Network stretches all Fairfield County wide, and I feel like we have that throughout our community, right? These really little cool pockets need people like you that bring community together, which I think is fabulous, but the social conscious piece is also very important, like the repurposing. I think I read something about you that you buy items for your store that are repurposed, and we're going to talk about it in the second segment. The woven community,
our woven community.
So you're buying artists, you're buying fair trade goods from people that really need the assistance. And in and around that, this seems like a tremendous amount of work. How do you staff your store? Just you? This is like the entrepreneurial American dream.
Yeah, no, it's tough. What I did get, and I adore her, is a University of Bridgeport intern.
Yeah.
And we connected because she asked me to do, she wanted to interview me for her, I don't know if it's thesis, but end of the year project. And, of course that required time on my part, but I said sure, and I did, and then I said, and it was beautiful, by the way. She's just really a great girl. Kiani Glassford, just so that
give her a little plug, yeah.
Give her applause. So she ended up, I asked her if she knew anybody that would want to intern, and she said, I will. So she works for me for free.
Wow.
2 days a week. She just got into FIT, so she's leaving me, which is very sad, but she is awesome. And
FIT is great. I'm an old alma mater of FIT.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good. She's so excited.
Yeah, it's such a great school. Yeah, such an incredible school. So you've got your intern.
So I have my intern.
Now I saw some pictures of your children on the site.
Yeah,
do they help you?
My children do. And
how old are they, if you don't mind me asking?
No, I have a 25-year-old, and this is part of. We'll get to him. He's in Bali, and he's been gone for 5 years. He's just my traveler. And then I have a 23-year-old and an almost 20-year-old. So boy, girl.
3.
So yeah, and so 2 of them are home, the younger 2, and live with me and help me. They're really great about it. And I mean, I bug them a lot because I need help with things that don't come naturally. Like I didn't grow up with a computer. I'm pretty good now, but I'm having, I have a hard time with a few things, and they're like, okay, Mom.
I bug Ava too. Yeah. They think that we just don't get it right, our age. Although I have a good amount of computer experience, but it's just happening so rapidly.
I know. It's changing. And no, I just turned 60. I never saw a computer.
Well, you don't look it.
Well, thank you. But I'm just putting it in perspective I never had one, and I taught myself everything. I didn't have it in school. Like my kids, I had Word, what is that?
Right. Now they need an iPhone just to be in class, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We're getting a quick snip here. We've got to take a quick commercial break.
Okay.
So we're going to come back and talk about your fair trade, socially conscious efforts, and we're going to share what it takes to do that. I'm very, very curious to see some of the stuff you brought.
Okay.
Tune back in, friends. It's Denise DiGrigoli live here on the HEN Network every Tuesday, The Drive. It's how you fuel your mind, your body, spirit that creates the lifestyle you live, and we're so thankful to spend this time with you. Come back for segment 2. I think you'll enjoy what Liv's going to show us. Thanks.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking, to a partner that makes small businesses feel big, where community comes first, where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver, where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well, bank smart, bank local, bank well. With the 24-month Bank Well Smart CD, you can earn 1.35% APY and raise your rate and add to your CD.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. New Canaan is 6 minutes down the road. New Canaan's a beautiful little town to walk around. I work in Westport. My commute is 20 minutes. It's close to Westchester where my family is, so the location is ideal. There is no other townhome that compares in the area. This is where I want to be.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday items to the freshest organic produce, artisanal cheeses, and grass-fed steaks. Drop off your knives to be sharpened, grab a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers, and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
For more than 50 years, Triple S has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities. With locations in Norwalk, Stamford, and Stratford, Triple S will get the job done fast, big or small. At Triple S, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning. Find us at triplesclean.com or 203-847-8000.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 1 million people have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment programming since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
We're back, and if you've heard me incorrectly, it's Lib DeNure of Hazel Days, and you can find her online, and we're going to flash up her website and everything at the end of our show. We're talking about her store and how she went from a digital online store to a bricks and mortar store, actually both of them, integrating herself in the community with her social causes, having her family help her out. What we're going to talk about now is all of the fair trade and this special community, our woven community that you support here in Bridgeport. So tell us about some of these things that you brought in today.
So our woven community was started by an amazing woman, a friend of mine, Cynthia Davis, and she is an artist herself and works with fabrics. So she had the idea to support refugees that are now living in the greater Bridgeport area by starting a nonprofit where things were donated, the fabrics were donated, the sewing machines were donated, and they could actually take the sewing machine home and work supporting their kids, be there with their kids at the same time. So each one is crafted by, I think that they're supporting about
these. These
10
are pretty
women.
wild.
Yeah. Put it right in front of my face.
Yeah.
So each piece has one piece of African fabric. So that's our woven community. We're weaving the communities, their community back in Africa with where they're living now.
So did we get the fabric from Africa?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I actually have a piece because I was in Africa that I'm going to donate to them. So each of the products comes with a story card about the artist. And for instance, I'll read you this because it's heartbreaking. So this is Marceline. She's the artist who made this item. She arrived as a refugee in the U.S. in 2015. She came here to escape from war in the Congo. She has 9 children, but 2 of them have remained in the Congo and are missing. The rebels captured her husband, and she has not seen him since. She's a brave woman who takes care of her 7 children as a single mom and hopes OWC, our woven community, will help heal her and provide more for her family. And I guess that this, I was told, is just a very watered down version of the story.
Of what
it's
really happened.
Just heartbreaking.
Well, if you read about that Rwanda genocide, I mean, it was really and is really horrible.
I know.
Yeah.
So supporting this has just, this is 100% give back by me. I don't take any cut on this. So they get, I mean, of course, Burroughs needs just a little bit of money for making the tags, but everything goes back to these women. So they're beautiful. There's a little, this was the cosmetic bag. Then they're all different, and they're all different fabrics, different sizes, because they're handmade.
They're made here, locally.
They're made here. They live in the greater Bridgeport area, most of them in Bridgeport. And then there's bigger ones. This is like a shoulder bag, and just everything about it is beautiful.
So you actually sell this bag and take no profit. Well, that's quite remarkable of you to do.
Well, I believe in it so strongly, but I brought this one because this is their new wholesale item. So the women have started to make these incredible totes. And so now they're trying to give me a way to make a little money so I can buy them at wholesale and mark them up. So
what does this one go for example?
So this one is $118.
But look at the
Look
work.
at the work.
Look
I
at
know.
the work. Wow. And look at the finish on the inside.
Yeah, the finish is beautiful. I mean, even this little piece.
Now, I read that they actually train these women to sew, because some of them were educated, if I read correctly.
You did.
They were educated in the Congo, and they didn't feel that sewing was something for them to do. It was maybe something not necessarily for them to do, because many of them had gone through school, which might have been unusual, but then they suffered this tragedy, and we actually trained them here with this skill, didn't we?
Yes. One of them, and I was just trying to find her card, it's Catherine, and I think this is, no, it's not, but I know the story. Catherine was a seamstress in her hometown, and she is actually helping to educate these other women, teach them to sew. But most of them, right, they had no knowledge at all. So some of them are, better done than others. You can tell their first pieces, and I still love them all.
I think they're all fantastic. And beyond that, I read that you do social causes. So you might have an evening that's dedicated to a charity of your choice. It's sort of like a sip and see, where 20% of the proceeds go to whatever charity you are fond of. I'm sure we could go into many hours of that. But then you support local artists, which I'm very, very fond of, having had an art business in our community for many years. So tell me about the other artists that you support.
Okay, so, well, for instance, I'm wearing this, and this is an artist out of Newtown, Lauren Frazier, and she does everything from recycled silver. So this was a spoon, and she cut it in half and feathered it. So I have bracelets, necklaces, beautiful things that she's made.
And how did you find someone like her? Did she come to you?
Well, yeah, a lot of people come to me, so I've become way more choosy at this point. In the beginning, I just had a couple friends that were artists, so they're still in my store. But I can't even remember how I came across Lauren. One person I met at the Bridgeport Arts Festival, she makes dream catchers, incredible. So I just went up to her. But generally, I get a lot of people coming to me, and I've kind of have to sift through it and pick things, first of all, that don't compete with another artist I already have, or something that's different and really unique.
Okay, so is there good and unique there?
So this is actually a woman in Branford who has a little store, but she is a designer, so she sends fabric, she creates the design here, sends it to Nepal, and it's beautiful. So it's made in Nepal. And the small fair trade company that was started in Nepal was right after the earthquake to support one family. So it's grown and grown since then. I loved the story. So she makes really beautiful
This is gorgeous.
things.
I love the bell sleeve.
Beautiful. So
it looks like a beach wear. You could wear it out with a pair of high heels.
You can belt it. Yeah. It's really cute. And then one of my other artists, I'm actually wearing her pants. It's Shandi Thulani. She's Indian. She's from Stamford. And she's 25. She makes this most amazing thing. So this is a cute
So what I love about this segment is, ladies, you can start your own business and design. And there are people like Hazel Days that will check you out.
That's right.
Right.
I have a Seattle artist. I mean, people get a hold of me. Isn't that beautiful?
It's beautiful finish.
Yep. So I have lots of these, and then she has a whole athletic line too. So she's got this cute little T-shirt.
And your price points are very reasonable. I
Yeah,
told you that my
that's
daughter
it.
Ava shops there for me for holiday. And she's bought the most fabulous pocketbooks and jewelry from your store.
Aren't these cute?
These
are
are
supposedly
adorable.
the most comfortable pants, and they're very flattering.
Yeah, they're very nicely made too. Wow.
Yeah, she does a great job. So, and then she also does tons of stuff, but this is her purse as well.
Is this handmade?
Isn't that gorgeous?
Wow. And the cute little hidden.
I
yeah.
know.
Isn't that nice? All right, so
So-
you're supporting local artists, you're supporting other business entrepreneurs, specifically ladies, it seems like, although I'm sure you probably have a few guy artists
I
in there.
do.
And you're connecting your community up and down the new row. If we can, this is the plug to name it the row.
Yeah, we want to name it the row.
We need it. And who do we need to talk to? Our selectmen?
Well, we've been through this with Bev from Chamber and Mike and Mark Barnhart. And we wanted to have, so this has been the issue. They wanted it to be the Grassmere Gate District because
Right.
there's actually gates at the end,
Right.
which I never even knew. But someone ended up buying the building, or we wanted them to donate the gates, and we were going to move them out. But now it's being part of the signage for the building, so
Okay.
we can't get the gates. So then, what is the gate district without the gates? Like, people don't even know that was the beginning of the Grassmere Farm years ago.
Right.
So I just had to make the decision finally on my own because Fairfield Magazine did write a little article about the row, and I thought, you know what, we're going with it.
Go with it.
Yeah. So
Go with
it's
it.
simple.
So when you come up against these challenges as a business owner, or you have a passion to change something, what fuels your passion? Because I'm sure there are people that are watching and going, I have an idea, I have a passion, I need the right fuel. Is it being connected? Is it just the fact that you were ingrained with this when you grew up? Is it, something bad happened to you that turned your life around? Like, what is it? That's the on-the-spot question.
Yeah, that is on the spot. What fuels? Well, I guess connections are really important because I do, and I've told my kids this forever, never burn bridges. You never know. And just go out
Wait, we
there.
need to repeat that again.
Yes, never burn bridges. You never know.
You never know.
You never know. And I mean, I'm kind to everyone, and I think that my kids are too, but it's really interesting to see something come back. Something I never imagined, that I did or said, and somebody reminds me of it years later that I helped them through something.
Yeah.
I was in a fire when I was in college, and I acted horribly. I didn't even keep the towel on my mouth, and it was mostly smoke, but there were flames. We had to go to the other end of the dorm to get out. I guess I grabbed someone and dragged them out with me. I have no recollection of this, and they came up afterward and said, you saved my life. No, I don't know. So it's interesting how sometimes things that you just have to go, it happened. I mean, I didn't plan it, and you've got to dig deep and go with, what you are. Like, find who you are and go with that as far as being, fueling yourself. I don't know. I dig down every morning like, okay, what can I do today?
Do you have a morning routine?
No, I like your morning routine, though. I don't have that.
You don't have a morning routine.
No.
You're a very busy entrepreneur.
No, I know, but
And sometimes we don't take time for self-care. So that's a little bit of the show, too. It's like, find some time for your self-care when you're busy and you want to get all these things done and you're motivated with whatever you're passionate about, you specifically, our community. So thank you. But I think sometimes we need that reminder, right? That, it's good fuel to take time for yourself and be mindful. And I also said the same thing to Ava. It's just not worth burning bridges. Sometimes it's not that important to be right. It's or to be heard. It's just to be okay with whatever's going on and see how it kind of plays out. Because your connections are valuable. Maybe they had a bad day. Maybe they chose the wrong set of words. Maybe they were scared. So instead of judging them, kind of just let it go. And then I'm also of the school of thought that, things that are meant to be will come your way. There's that old saying, chance favors the prepared mind. So I just like to be prepared. And I think if you're more in a giving mode than you are in a receiving mode, that favors you to chance. And I think that's why you're making headway over there on the row. Right?
Yeah.
I think so.
I agree. And you just said something that I was going to respond to, and now I can't remember.
You lost that train of thought.
I did.
It'll come back. Don't worry.
I know.
So you've got all these great artists. You're in your store. You're doing your bricks and mortar, and you told me your children are helping you with your website design.
Yes.
Now I think a lot of people, and we won't reference our age, but a lot of people our age have technical difficulties, and they want to know social media and how to best perform on it, and they want to have their website, and is it user friendly and is it interactive? And I think we rely on our younger sorts to help us out. So what are you finding with that? Because I have a young intern myself right now.
Well, she'll be great at all of this stuff. It's incredible how, I mean, I'm really better now. I've learned a lot, but when I first looked at it, it just made no sense to me. And it made sense to my kids immediately. My son especially goes, click this, that. He's just doing it all.
Right. From Bali?
Oh, no, that's my other one. So,
Okay.
So yeah. So Nicholas is in Bali, and actually he's coming home soon for a short break, which will be really nice. But he needed money, which often happens with these traveling kids. So instead of, I did give him a little bit of money, said Happy Valentine's Day, and then I said, if you want money, I'll pay you to help me with the website. So we still have a little ways to go, and he has the money, but it's okay. He was working on it from Bali and sending me screenshots, which I find very difficult to fathom somehow, and I was like, I need him to be home and sit with me. I'm way better like that.
You need a live link.
Yeah, so Peter, being here, kind of took over and dealt with Nicholas, talked to Nicholas, tried to make sense of what he was saying, and then has been working on the website. And so then I'm actually able to see it live. And then it's still a mess. So that's what I want to put under construction on there, because it's got one theme here. But anyway, they've been great, and I love that.
Yeah, I think that's an entrepreneur's situation, right? It's always you're trying to keep the funnel filled. You're trying to keep your administrative tasks after what I call non-selling hours, and these sort of technical things fall into that, but you need them. So it's always like the chicken and the egg. And I think that's why these organizations like SCORE, our Small Business Association, are so valuable, because they help you streamline what's important. So we're going to take a quick break.
Right.
We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about what's important as we close with the final segment, and what Hazel Days looks like in the future. Stay tuned, everyone. It's Denise DiGrigoli here on the HN Network live every Tuesday with The Drive, motivating you, moving you forward mindfully and consciously. If you or you know someone that would like to be on The Drive, please send us a little Twitter direct message at Han Network CT or at Denise DiGrigoli, and we'll get back to you. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd love your feedback on the show. We'll be back in a minute. Thanks.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Keep your future star active and happy this summer at Future Star Sports Academy camps and clinics. The Academy is offering sessions throughout Fairfield County. Sign up for a week of basketball, cheerleading, football, or a multi-sports camp. At Future Stars Academy, children learn the fundamentals while under the supervision of qualified coaches. And what sets the Academy apart is its special Lessons of Life sessions, teaching values and focusing on building self-esteem, friendships, and honesty. Located at Sports Center Connecticut in Shelton and in Sports in Trumbull. Register online at futurestarssportsacademy.com.
Warm weather, light breezes, boats are in the water. There's no better place to celebrate summer than the Dock Shop. Whether in Darien at 51 Tokenique Road or Westport at 609 Riverside Avenue, the Dock Shop is where you'll find everything you need to kick off summer. From the latest summer apparel to the newest fishing tackle, the Dock Shop will help you get the most out of your next beach day or harbor cruise. At the Dock Shop, you'll find a wonderful selection of items made in the USA and right here in New England, all with a distinct nautical flair. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the coastal lifestyle, this is a unique place to shop. DockShop.com.
I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN Network.
And we're back. It's Denise DiGrigoli here again on the HN Network with The Drive every Tuesday. And we've been talking to Lib DeNure, the owner of Hazel Days here in Fairfield, Connecticut. She's a community activist trying to connect the dots in her community. And for those of you that get my newsletter, the one thing that I loved about Lib is that she had an intention to take her digital store off, not only have her digital store, but bring it to bricks and mortar, because she was tired of everybody being in the typical prone, head down, look at your cell phone position. And she really wanted people, she felt like our society is just too much ingrained with our head down. There's even neck problems that are forming in today's society. So she really wanted to encourage the one-to-one interaction with the people in the community that she had built not only online, but in her local town. And we were talking about moving outside your comfort zone. And your intention was just to start bricks and mortar and to bring fair trade, socially conscious products around to the community, as well as your community online. But it's evolved into so much more. And when I asked you where were you taking this, you said, I'm just trying every opportunity. And is that how you force yourself out of your comfort zone?
Yeah, I guess so. I was just saying to you that you need, we all just need to try new things. Things that are scary, like coming on the show, is kind of scary for me. Like, I'm doing it because I'm going to learn something from that experience.
Right.
It's like going to anything that, you get home at night and maybe there's a chamber gathering, turn around and go, because you never know who you're going to meet. You never know.
So it's really putting yourself out there for whatever opportunity comes your way. Kind of what we said segment 2, chance favors the prepared mind. You're really putting yourself out there so that opportunities are around you and that you might synchronistically pick up on one.
I so believe that.
Right. Oh, I believe that too. I think that, if you don't put yourself out there, well, you won't know what the universe, will bring to you.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so your business is now 5 years in the running or 4 years in the running?
Well, we had I'm in my 5th year. We had our 4th anniversary. And honestly, I didn't think that I would be where I am.
So by all statistics, businesses fail in the first 5 years. Now, Connecticut happens to be very dominant with women-owned business. Well, as I think much of the United States is becoming. But Connecticut always had a stride ahead in women-owned business. And I know that you and I have worked with different organizations that have helped women-owned business. What can you tell me about stretching beyond your comfort zone and working with those types of organizations? Were they helpful? Did you find sometimes maybe they were patronizing to women? Did you find sometimes they put the fence around you? Or did you find that they let you fly?
Well, which organizations are we talking about? I'm working with SCORE, certainly, but I don't know. I've applied for women-owned grants, which I have found Tony Birch, Eileen Fisher. I'm trying to reach out to bigger name, because if you get something like that, then you're mentored by them, and I feel like that's, again, another way into a whole nother world.
So you're seeking these opportunities. Are you looking online? Do you have connections? Like, how are you knowing to do this?
You can find anything online. I love Google. So you can just look up, small business grants. And that's another thing Kiani's done for me is I give her as many research projects because it's time consuming. So she'll come up with a list and then just summarize things, and then I can go in and move forward with it. It's just, I don't know. I spin all the time. And that's something that I think, like focusing and having an early morning routine would be great. But spinning's kind of good because I do finish things too. It's not like I just touch upon it. I'll get back to it. But sometimes just jumping
You're talking
around.
to a tried and fast spinner herself.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah. I think, well, for me as a creative person, I think you've got to populate a lot of creative ideas, right? Because again, chance favors the prepared mind. And you never know really what, ship will sail. So I think that, yes, it can be a little crazy if you do it too much, and you got to kind of reel yourself in. That's where the morning routine or some sort of, and I was going to ask you, like, do you do some sort of routine to reel yourself in?
Well, I exercise, so that's my thing.
That's your thing.
I'm pretty much every day.
And what kind of exercise do you do?
Well, I was a runner, but I've had a few issues, so I'm more of a cyclist now. And I go to the gym, and my daughter and I are doing the challenge actually right now, the weight loss exercise challenge. And so we have a trainer, and we get in the boxing room. And
Wow.
This is free through the challenge. It's really fun. We kickbox too, which I love, like, actually the pads, but there's just, free kickboxing too. And I do weightlifting and all kinds of stuff. Elliptical, whatever.
So what would you tell somebody that's watching that's maybe never done as much athletic type of activity as you have to motivate themselves? Like, how do you get out of your own way and get some motivation? I say morning routine. Yes, I do some athletics. You say, what are we going to tell people to move them forward?
I think it's important, for me at least, to start my day with it, because you can always make an excuse by the end of the day why not to do something. So even if it's in your home, if it's too hard to get out in the morning, certainly going for a walk is great. But I have found these little tiny YouTube videos that I love. They're 5-minute abs, 7-minute abs, and it's Rebecca Louise from XFit. She is hysterical. You can do something like that. Just something there's a little meditation to it.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. What is the name?
It's Rebecca Louise is her name. She's an English girl, just like gorgeous, perfectly fit. But it's XFit, and like X and then FIT. But I do that, and then there's Pilates things, and I do yoga too.
I do yoga, yeah.
Yeah, so I used to teach yoga. So that is something you can just, you can stretch, you can feel good. If it's hard, I know it's really hard. On our team at the Edge, we have some people that really need motivation, and so we do a lot of group things, like go hiking or something. If you're with someone else, it's always easier to do.
So the other one of the standard questions I ask, even though I say I don't have any standard questions, is how do you handle the naysayers or the negative folks? As you're an entrepreneur and you're a busy mom and whatever, people say, oh, why are you trying that? Oh, you don't want to do that, or you should or you shouldn't. And I always make a joke, we don't should on ourselves here on the drive. There's no shoulding. But what do you do to counteract that? Because people that are starting something new, maybe they're going through transition, loss, maybe they're trying to shag weight, maybe they're trying to gain weight. What do you do what would you tell people? Like, how do you keep the naysayers away and keep your mind calibrated moving forward?
Oh man, that's tough.
Other than,
I always listen.
Yeah.
And something happens in my mind where I click that person out. Like, I know it's not going to work. I listen. I maybe, give back a little my own positive feedback why I'm doing what I'm doing. But lots of times you can't change people.
Yeah.
There's certain people and I know the people that are going to have a bad effect on me, or, of course there's new people all the time, but I guess I just keep going with my own mindset. You just have to believe in yourself. You have to go with your gut. It's the only way. I mean, I was reading a book about soul survival. See, I do a little bit of reading. I'm trying to think about it, but it's, going through, the marriage that didn't work out and things like that. I have found this amazing internal energy that I didn't know that I had, because I was just kind of balancing between trying to make something work that was never going to work. And you've got to listen to that and keep going with it. That's all. I don't know. It's tough.
That's a great piece of advice, though. Listen to that. I think a lot of times we have internal clues or cues, and we kind of push them aside because we're supposed to be doing this. We're stuck in the should, right? And when we get stuck in the should, we don't necessarily tune in. And that's what I hope that we do with this show. So if we spark somebody today and we turned on their tune in, then we've kind of effectively done what we're supposed to do.
I think this is a great show, by the way. I didn't know much about it until you hooked me in here. So,
I have to give Deb O'Keefe a big shout out.
Deb.
Yeah, she's so fabulous. One of my good friends that referred you. And we had known, because as I said, Ava and Troy shop at your store for me. I have to go in separate of them, so I don't see what they're getting, but it is a fabulous store. Okay. And I'm so glad that you're part of our community. And now I lost my train of thought of what I was going to say for the close.
I'm sorry, you were going to talk about, I don't know. What were you going to say?
Oh, social causes. So tell me now your next social cause. I saw one coming up online. When is it?
Well, this Thursday.
This Thursday.
This Thursday night, we're having beauty counter at the store, which is all natural makeup line, which I don't have any makeup in the store, but I'm, always willing to branch out. I was at another one of their events, and it really is amazing.
Can we bring someone 14 to this?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, my daughter's coming with her friends.
Okay.
Oh, definitely. So they make men, women, and children, mascara and all that stuff, but also body scrubs and things. So it's all natural, no animal testing. And the woman that started it, and I'm sorry I don't know her name, but if you look up Beauty Counter, she's an amazing woman, and she's been to Washington and talking about how we have the worst
The chemicals,
the
parabens,
And there's no bans, there's no ceiling, whatever the word is. So the United States is one of the worst countries as far as that. So she's trying to take it to a whole new level.
And what time is your event?
So it goes from 7 until 9:30, and at the same time I'm giving 10% back to our woven community of all sales that night because I love them. So it's a wine and cheese. People always come when you offer them wine, and it's a lot of fun. My store is just fun, so if you've never been there, come.
Okay, and before we close, I just want to ask you, what's on the horizon for you and Hazel Days and your community? Where are we going? When we ask you to come back next year, what will we have hoped to learn?
If you'd asked me this a year ago, I never would have been able to predict what I would say right now. I feel like I guess I was just in Fairfield Magazine yesterday, and that's really a helpful thing. Because
that was most interesting, most talented, most giving. You were in the top 25.
I didn't even know what it was.
Deb told me, and I had to look it up because I love those folks over there.
I haven't seen it,
Yeah.
so So that was a nice, a nice. Of course, I even wrote to Robin in the first place about the store and about the row, but she turned it into something which is great. So I don't know in a year. I mean, I hope that my website is done, and I hope that the online will have picked up a lot because you can sell on a million platforms these days. So anything that will help me, financially a little bit, because although I'm still standing, it's not, a rosy picture. So
it's challenging.
Yeah. And I'm really hopeful that all of this, being on the show and getting people in the store, getting them rallied around the causes that I love, and you can make a choice every day when you buy something. You need gifts, you need things for yourself. Make a choice to support.
Well, I will tell you that we've had Larry Bigeman of Conscious Capitalism on the show, and he will be back on. But I just read something on LinkedIn the other day that said, we right now know about brands and what brands stand for, and that's sort of the marketing pinnacle word, brand. But it's moving to stand. It's moving to what we take a stand for, social causes. So you're already beyond the juxtaposition.
And I'm choosing artists for my store. I just have a new one from Staten Island, and they give back to a Staten Island animal shelter, which I am so, it's a no-kill shelter, and so I'm trying to choose artists now that actually give back as well. So it's like double-sided. I'm selling in the store and
business, a purpose with a profit. So conscious capitalism is it's okay to make money, just keep it circulating and be mindful of everybody in the process. Your vendors, your community, your causes, your people, and so it hopefully not to sound sort of gauche, but it's more world peaceful, isn't it? It is. It just really is.
That's one of my little taglines, and it is so corny, but just to make the world a better place.
One successful business, one successful happy client at a time.
That's right.
Well, I hope you'll join us next year. It was so great having you on. Your store is fabulous. Guys, it's hazeldays.com here in Fairfield, and I hope that you'll support Lib and join her in her beauty counter event this Thursday. And I hope you'll come back and see us next week. We're going to have James Mape on, the master of the imagination, professional coach, Broadway star, and so much great information to share with you when James comes on. It's Denise DiGrigoli. We're thankful that we have this hour every week with you Tuesdays here on the HN Network. If you or someone you know would be a great guest on the show, please reach out on Twitter at HANNetworkCT or Denise DiGrigoli, and we'd love to hear from you. We'll be back. We'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks so much for tuning in.